Good afternoon. My name is Dan Scripps, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission, and I call this meeting of the Commission to order on May 26, 2021 at 1:31 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
I am present and attending remotely from lovely Leelanau County, Michigan.
Commissioner Phillips.
Present, attending remotely from what was a soggy morning here in Ingham County, Michigan.
Commissioner Paratek.
Present and attending remotely from Wayne County, Michigan.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Today's meeting is being held remotely under the authority of a declaration of a state of emergency for the County of Eaton, pursuant to a resolution of the Eaton County Board of Commissioners adopted on April 21st, 2021. We are holding this meeting remotely using Microsoft Live Event. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. If you are participating via the live stream, you may also turn on the live captions by clicking on the closed caption or CC button in the lower right corner of the screen. During this meeting, we will call out participant names before speaking to support those listening only by phone or using relay service. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose connection, the Commission will be in recess. We will attempt to reestablish a connection, but if we are unable to do so within 15 minutes, we will adjourn. Decisions made prior to the disconnection will be binding, and other business will be handled at a future meeting. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. If you have intermittent internet service, you should consider listening to the meeting via telephone, not the computer. So if there is an interruption, you can avoid missing part of the meeting. Another option is to watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted and then listen to the audio from your phone. Please keep in mind, though, that the video feed has a slight delay while the telephone line is in real time. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comment should be limited to one per person and can be made verbally by calling in or in writing via the live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating via Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting, and we will have those queued up to read. The Q&A function should be used to request technical assistance or to submit public comments directed to the Commission. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must call into the meeting by phone. To minimize disruptions, attendees will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. The first order of business today is the approval of the agenda for today's meeting, and I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the agenda for today's Commission meeting.
And I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The agenda is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the May 13, 2021 Commission meeting. And again, I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Chair, I move for the approval of the minutes from the May 13th, 2021 Commission meeting.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the May 13, 2021 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The Commission meeting minutes of May 13, 2021 are approved. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of the orders and minute action on the consent agenda. And today the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Lisa Gold. I recognize Ms. Gold.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 4 communications matters and 1 gas matter. The proposed orders and minute action for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the orders and minute action on the consent agenda.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute action on the consent agenda. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The orders and minute action on the consent agenda are approved. Ms. Gold?
Item 4A1 on the agenda is case number U-17861, which involves the application of Midwest Energy Cooperative, DBA Midwest Energy and Communications, to expand its designation as a high-cost and lifeline eligible telecommunications carrier to include designated census blocks and exchanges. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. Recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-17861.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-17861 is approved. I recognize Ms. Gold.
Item 4A2 is case number U-20956, which involves an application as amended filed by Aspire Networks 1 LLC for temporary and permanent licenses to provide basic local exchange service throughout the state of Michigan. The order before you approves the permanent license.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20956.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-20956 is approved. Ms. Gold.
Item 4A3 is case number U-20957, which involves an application filed by Aspire Networks 1 LLC for designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier for purposes of high cost and lifeline support in designated areas in the state of Michigan. The order before you grants conditional eligible telecommunications carrier designation.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20957.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-20957 is approved. Ms. Gold.
Item 4A4 is case number U-20958, which involves an application as supplemented filed by Charter FiberLink Michigan LLC for designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier for purposes of high cost and lifeline support in designated areas in the state of Michigan. The order before you conditionally approves the application and provides for a process if the awarded census blocks are changed due to Federal Communications Commission updates.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20958.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20958 is approved. Ms. Gold.
Item 4A5 is case number U-20961, which involves an application as amended filed by LakeNet LLC for temporary and permanent licenses to provide basic local exchange service throughout the state of Michigan. The order before you grants the permanent license.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20961.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20961 is approved. I recognize Ms. Gold.
Item 4A6 is case number U-20965, which involves an application as amended filed by LakeNet LLC for designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier for purposes of high-cost support. The order before you conditionally approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Chair, I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20965.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20965 is approved. I recognize Ms. Gold.
Item 4A7 is case number U-20981, which involves an application as amended filed by Presskill Electric and Gas Co-op for temporary and permanent licenses to provide basic local exchange service in designated areas. The order before you grants the permanent license.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20981.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20981 is approved. Ms. Gold.
Item 4A8 is case number U-20982, which involves an application as amended filed by Presskill Electric and Gas Co-op for designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier for purposes of high cost and lifeline services. The order before you conditionally grants the application.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20982.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20982 is approved. I recognize Ms. Gold.
Item 4A9 is case number U-20998, which involves the application as amended of Zyber LLC to be designated as an eligible telecommunications carrier within specified census blocks in the state of Michigan. The order before you conditionally approves the company's application.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20998.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20998 is approved. And as we break into double digits in the telecom section, I again recognize Ms. Gold.
Item 4A10 is case number U-20999, which involves an application as amended filed by Zyber LLC for temporary and permanent licenses to provide basic local exchange service in the Pontiac Exchange. The order before you approves the application for a permanent license.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Chair, I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20999.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20999 is approved. Ms. Gold.
Item 4A11 is case number U-21019, which involves an application filed by Midwest Energy Cooperative, DBA Midwest Energy and Communications, for temporary and permanent licenses to provide basic local exchange service in the additional requested exchanges. The order before you grants the permanent license.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21019.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
I do have comments to make, Chair, and I feel like we need a bit of a intermission. Prior to voting on what I believe is the final order today related to the FCC's RDOF, our Rural Digital Opportunity Fund, I want to take a brief moment to thank our Telecommunications Division for their work in addressing the necessary applications and licenses needed for Michigan providers to receive federal funds awarded through the RDOF grant. As a reminder, in December of 2020, the FCC announced those companies who would be awarded funding through the $20.4 billion program aimed at construction of high-speed broadband networks in underserved and unserved areas of the country. In Michigan, 13 companies were awarded funding for their projects, which in aggregate will bring to the state over $360 million in federal infrastructure investment, sustaining and creating countless jobs while providing high-speed internet to almost 250,000 sites that previously lacked connectivity. These companies, however, were only given until June 7th of 2021 to present to the FCC required designations from their state commissions that would allow them to be granted these federal funds. As a result, the Telecommunications Division has been hard at work processing 15 ETC are eligible telecommunications carrier applications and an additional 8 license applications under the Michigan Telecommunications Act. Our staff has efficiently worked with satellite, co-op, cable, and telecom providers, both familiar and new to the telecommunications landscape in Michigan, in order to guide and assist them in meeting the FCC imposed deadline. I will save further details for the presentation that will be offered by members of the Telecommunications Division during our next commission meeting, but I have little doubt that the RDOF program, and by extension, the efforts of our staff, will be viewed as a significant turning point in tackling the digital divide here in the great state of Michigan. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips, for those remarks and for your leadership and that of the staff in processing these applications. I very much join your hope and expectation that this is a turning point for rural broadband availability in the state, and appreciate your ongoing leadership in this area. Is there any further discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-21019 is approved. Ms. Gold?
Item 4B1 on the agenda is case number U-17377, which involves implementation of the provisions of Public Act 95 of 2013. The order before you reminds utilities of the need to file required low-income energy assistance fund information no later than 5 p.m. on June 30th, 2021.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-17377.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-17377 is approved. Back to you, Ms. Gold.
Item 4B2 is case number U-20165, which involves an ex parte application by Consumers Energy Company for approval of the Public Utility Regulatory Policies Act of 1978 full avoided cost rates. The order before you approves the February 22nd, 2021 application.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20165.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-20165 is approved. Ms. Gold?
Item 4B3 is case number U-20995, which involves a joint application by Axiom UP Holdings LLC and Lake AIV LP, requesting commission approval of Axiom's purchase of 100% of the outstanding common stock of Upper Peninsula Power Holding Company, which in turn owns 100% of the outstanding common stock of Upper Peninsula Power Company, and the proposed transfer of ownership and control of Upper Peninsula Power Holding Company and Upper Peninsula Power Company from Lake AIV to Axiom. Staff member Shannon Ruckert will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. On February 26, 2021, Axiom UP Holdings LLC and Lake AIV LP filed a joint application with the Commission for approval of Axiom's purchase of 100% of the outstanding common stock of Upper Peninsula Power Holding Company and requesting Commission approval of the proposed transfer of ownership and control of UPPHC and UPCO from Lake AIV to Axiom. At closing, Axiom will control UPPHC and UPCO will continue to exist as a separate corporate entity. The Commission staff participated in the general proceeding, and the Michigan Department of Attorney General was granted intervention. UPCO filed revised Exhibit A6, which contains the applications relating to the proposed transaction that are required pursuant to Sections 203 and 204 of the Federal Power Act 16 U.S.C. 824C. Parties to the case include Axiom UP Holdings LLC, Lake AIV LP, MPSC staff, and the Attorney General. Following negotiations, the parties to this case reached a settlement agreement. The settlement agreement provides that the proposed transaction will not have an adverse impact on the existing rates of UPCO customers, nor on the assets, liabilities, rights, and obligations of UPCO. Axiom and/or UPPHC will not seek rate recovery from UPCO customers for any proposed transaction costs, acquisition premiums, goodwill, or control premiums incurred in connection with this transaction. UPCO, under its new ownership, agrees not to request an adjustment to base rates to take effect prior to January 1, 2023, subject to some provisions around federal tax rates. No labor force reductions or substantive changes to existing benefits are expected as a result of this transaction. UPCO and Axiom will make affiliate transactions between UPCO and APPHC or Axiom available to the Commission and the staff for inspection and examination. The proposed transaction will not impair the ability of UPCO to raise necessary capital or to maintain a reasonable capital structure. Axiom shall notify the Commission of the closing of the transaction and shall file a copy of the letter in this docket. UPCO, under its new ownership, will extend expiring revenue credits that are currently in UPCO's base rates under provisions included in this order by 2 months. UPCO, under its new ownership, shall actively manage its permanent capital structure consistent with the capital structure approved by the Commission in the company's last general rate case. UPCO, under its new ownership, will elect to increase the discretionary cap for its distributed generation DG program from 2% to 3%. UPCO shall include proposals to address various pilot programs listed in the settlement agreement in its next general rate case, such as an electric vehicle charging pilot, alternative tariffs and/or rebates for building electric space and water heating, and a low-income residential customer tariff. UPCO, under its new ownership, will forgive 20% of the bad debt booked to the company's COVID-19 deferred asset account, which shall be borne by shareholders and not recovered from ratepayers. UPCO's customers will not be financially responsible for any adverse impacts of any push-down accounting adjustments relating to the recording of charges and fair market values or goodwill from the proposed transaction. The order before you approves the settlement agreement for the proposed purchase by Axiom UP Holdings LLC of 100% of the outstanding common stock of Upper Peninsula Power Holding Company. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rickert. I recognize Commissioner Phillips for a motion.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20995.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Before we move to the vote on this matter, I want to first thank the parties involved in developing what I think is a solid settlement agreement resolving the issues in this case. and moves us forward in, I think, seeing the significant benefits of the transfer of ownership for the Upper Peninsula Power Company. I want to highlight a couple of what I think are the most significant elements. First, and perhaps most importantly, this transfer should put UPCO in a better place in terms of its rate structure, a front of mind issue for many UPCO customers who pay some of the highest residential rates in the country. While there are no silver bullets, Axiom's agreement to move forward in an expeditious manner with its debt refinancing plan should provide meaningful customer benefits, both through long-term financial stability and by lower interest rates, which reduce financing costs and the overall cost of capital. These are good things and represent significant step forward. Second, Axiom's approach to long-term investing bodes well for the UP. The previous approach to wringing short-term value for investors out of UPCO has contributed to the rate challenges, and a longer-term approach will, I hope, better balance the interests of UPCO's owners and investors with the customers that pay the bills. Third, the commitment to increase the discretionary cap on UPCO's distributed generation program from 2% to 3% addresses some immediate challenges and provides some breathing room in the UPCO service territory, while the legislature, with participation from the Commission and others, works to identify a more comprehensive approach to distributed energy resources in Michigan. And finally, I'm particularly pleased with the commitment to address a number of the recommendations coming out of the UP Energy Task Force that has been meeting for the past 2 years and just released its final recommendations earlier this spring. Moving forward with proposals for an electric vehicle station pilot program for its territory, considering electrification opportunities for space and water heating, and proposing a low-income residential customer pilot tariff to assist those customers struggling with high bills are all meaningful commitments that can offer real benefits to UPCO's customers and the UP as a whole. There are also a number of other positive elements that Mr. Rickert identified contained within the settlement agreement, and I'm encouraged by this transfer of control. I want to formally welcome UPCO's new owners to Michigan and look forward to working with you in the long term in delivering tangible benefits to the people of the UP. Is there any further discussion on this matter? Seeing none, we will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick.
Aye.
I also enthusiastically vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20995 is approved. And I recognize Ms. Gold.
Item 4C1 is case number U-20903, which involves proposed amendments to the rules governing gas safety. The order before you approves the rules governing gas safety, which are attached as Exhibit A to the order, for submission to the Legislative Service Bureau and the Michigan Office of Administrative Hearings and Rules for their formal approvals.
Thank you, Ms. Gold. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for approval of the order in case number U-20903.
I recognize Commissioner Peretick.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20903 is approved. We have now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. Again, if you would like to make a comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud to the Commissioners. This feature is available on the right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. As a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to their comments. After taking any comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment. But please do not include your written comment, as this will avoid duplication. I will first call on these names in the order received. After hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we will ask if there are any comments from individuals who are on the phone line but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. Please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting. When it is your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. As a reminder, this public comment period is for Commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you are willing to share, so we have that for our records. And please limit comments to 1 per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes, so that we have a chance to hear from all who would like to comment. And Ms. Cole, I believe that you are again assisting us with the public comment portion of the meeting. Do we have anybody who has entered comments into the Q&A feature?
Chair Scripps, at this time, there is no one that has entered any comments, nor is there anyone that has requested to speak within the live event Q&A function.
You always have that ability to answer the next question. Is there anybody on the phone line who would like to make a public comment at this time? And again, *6 to unmute yourself. I'll ask again, see if there's anybody on the phone who would like to address the commission. And one more time, is there anybody on the phone today who would like to make a public comment? *6 to unmute. Okay, well, we will close the public comment portion. And before we close, I have a few announcements. First, as a reminder, at our May 13th meeting, it was announced that our regularly scheduled commission meeting for July 1st, 2021 had been rescheduled for July 2nd, Friday, July 2nd at 10:30 a.m. So just a reminder on that schedule change. Second, today the commission is issuing our annual summer energy appraisal. The appraisal finds that we've got adequate energy supplies, and that we're also seeing gas prices returning to more normal levels after last year's low prices, and that the ongoing impacts of the pandemic continue to add uncertainty to energy markets. Encourage your review of the annual energy appraisal. It's a well-done document coordinated by our energy security team here at the commission, focusing on electricity, natural gas, petroleum, gasoline, and distillate fuels like diesel. Also includes an update on some of the commission's cybersecurity activities, as well as our review of the Enbridge Line 5 case. And so again, that's the summer energy appraisal that's being issued today. And then finally, I know many of us this week marked 1 year since the murder of George Floyd, and I want to recognize that sad anniversary here today. That event and the killing of too many other African Americans and persons of color in America has sparked an overdue discussion on race and justice in our country. And we at the commission have been actively participating in that and joining others in proclaiming that Black lives do indeed matter. Some of our work around this diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative has included conversations between staff, taking a hard look at our processes in terms of attraction, hiring, retention, and advancement, and a number of other things. We see this both important as our role as an organization, but also as a regulator overseeing critical infrastructure sectors that, like so many other parts of our society, continue to bear the scars of racial injustice and systemic bias. And we have a unique role in addressing some of that. This has been a tough, but I think ultimately necessary year. And I want to thank our staff, nearly 2/3 of whom have actively participated in this initiative to date, for bringing their best selves to this discussion. A sense of vulnerability and openness to different perspectives, a willingness to learn from one another, and ultimately to be both a better organization and better at the role that we play. And I particularly want to thank my fellow commissioners, both former Chair Sally Tallberg, who helped launch this initiative, Commissioner Paratek for her active involvement from day one on the commission, and Commissioner Phillips, who in many ways has been the heart and soul of this and stepped forward to have conversations, Commissioner, that I'm sure that you didn't want to have at that moment, but leadership called and you answered, and I appreciate that. At this 1 year mark, I think we've done a good job in society of elevating the issue, but we're starting to see sort of folks, in the same way that we're all getting back to normal, sort of looking at a chance to turn the page, and maybe we're done with that. And I would just urge us at this moment to resist that temptation, that this has been an important year in elevating the issue, but elevating the issue is not the same as action. And I look forward in the next year and the years to come to taking some of what we've learned over the last 12 months and applying it to our work and to the work both as an organization and again as a regulator. This cannot simply be talk. We've had too much of that, and I want to sort of recommit ourselves at this sad anniversary with a commitment to action going forward. And with that, I'll close. Are there other comments today before we close the meeting?
No further comments from me, Chair. Just wanted to thank you for taking the time to make your comments and thank our staff for their continued genuine dedication and commitment to our DEI efforts. Also would just like to say to our staff and to any others on the call, please have a enjoyable, safe, and most importantly during this time, a healthy 3-day holiday weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioner. Well, with that, we'll conclude today's meeting. The next regular commission meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, June 9th, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Phillips?
I motion to adjourn today's commission meeting.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek for the second.
I second the motion.
We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Be well.